Hello everyone, welcome to another video, and today I'll be making a first look into Manor Lords, the most wishlisted game on Steam. Part city builder, part army management in medieval times, a game that manages to simulate the difficulties and complexities of that period in a way that I haven't seen in any other game, despite the fact that it takes inspiration from many other games that came before it, like Lords of the Realm 2, Stronghold, and a fairly recent game that came out about a few years ago called Rising Lords. Despite all of these games sharing the same sort of formula of you having to increase your population, assign them jobs, to work the fields, to work the industry, and also you need to take these people, and at least some of them, and create an army to help fend off bandits, and also in the long run create armies that go out and expand your territory into new counties. You get a map that is made up of several counties, and you start randomly in one of them, and you need to fight off other lords, take their territory, and become the sovereign of this area. By the way, I'm going to link all of the games that I talked about, that I mentioned. I will link them in the description if you want to take a look at them yourself. Keep in mind, some of them are quite old, and yet their mechanics work. So, it is something to note. Anyways, I'm going to jump into a village that I more or less started, or you know what, let's start a new one, a random one. Ditz? Yeah, sure, let's call him Ditz. We're going to be restoring the peace scenario. We have this scenario, which is sort of the challenge where you're constantly attacked. This is the easy game mode where you don't need to worry about combat. We're going to be with the end goal of domination. Off-map adversaries present. This scenario requires off-map adversary, which means that there is a lord outside of the map that sends in soldiers in order to grab territory. AI aggressiveness, I will place it in reactive, so he will not attack me, but he will try to take territory, and he will react to my attempts to grab his territory. Okay? Raiders frequency, no random raids. Oh, so we have medium. Raider 3 years. Let's place it at 3. Initial bandit camps, none. Armory, armament delivery, okay. Starting supplies, standard. Starting season is spring, that's great. Approval, medium penalty, okay. Residential requirements are balanced. Requirements triggering loss of approval are shifted by level 1 to be less demanding. Well placement only in underground water, and weather events balanced. As you can see, I only have one map, that's the early access map. The game is pretty bare bones, but I believe it is worth it still. Only a single person developed this game, and it took him 7 years to get into this early access version. His name is Slavic Magic, and which is why I highly recommend that you buy this game, not download it through Game Pass, because this guy needs to be commended for his work that he did alone. In my opinion, I will always be in favor of giving money to devs, to single devs who build passion projects instead of greedy corporations who look at me like a walking wallet, essentially, that they can extort money from me every a few months. So I will always give my money to devs like who made, for instance, Helldivers and Lethal Company and this game, and I will avoid, to the best of my abilities, giving money to corporations. This is how I see the game. This is how I see it. If you're like me, then great. If not, also great. It's your money, so nobody's telling you what to do. It's just, for me, it's a, how shall I say, a smarter investment. Anyway, so we have a homeless people's tent. What we need to do is build their homes as quickly as possible. So let's go to the building tab. And as you can see, we have several buildings. But if you are unfamiliar with the game, if this is your first time playing it, you will not know what to build first. So the first thing we should build is a logging camp. It will make people go out and start chopping down trees and making timber out of them. Timber is the most common resource used in construction, so it is really important. We have Woodcutter's Lodge, which creates firewood. Firewood keeps our families warm, especially in winter, so it's very important. Saw pit is used for planks that are later used for building other buildings like church and things like that, so not really important. We also have a forester's hut, so just like in the Settlers game, if you remember that one, where you had someone to plant trees so that you will be able to then chop down for wood. So this is why it's here. We are going to place a hunting camp. I've started smack dab in the middle of a forest, so I don't have a lot of space to work with, but this is going to do for now. Let's build roads that connect all of these buildings. I like, by the way, how it's moving, how it's connecting and like so. It's connecting and curving itself around edges very nicely. Okay, so now we have built all of these buildings from our existing supplies. Let's place two people in the logging camp, one in the hunting camp, and in the woodcutter's lodge maybe one again. Okay, let's place 3 of them here because I want them to cut the forest down, give us a little bit more breathing space, a little bit more building space. And as you can see, they will go out and start chopping up wood, getting the logs back. You can see they already have 5 of them.
Fresh start for me and Kat.
Oh, one thing these guys need, I haven't built. Water. There. As you can see, there's a sort of an underground stream that only there can I build a well. So let's build one. Okay, so they're clearing out the forest a little bit. Let's also build...
Can I stay where there's drink?
Let's go and build them homes. Homes require only, they only require timber now. goes from left to right. Left to right. There. So we'll have 10 homes. And what I really want to do is make a saw pit. First thing though we need is a granary and a storehouse. A granary stores all of our food, a storehouse stores all of our other resources, and we need to get them out of the open because they get soaked and then they get ruined by the environment and by the weather. Good. Okay, so they cleared out a little bit of the forest. Already we have 3 homes up. The 4th one is coming. As you can see, my approval is tanking a little bit because they don't have their homes ready. They will have though, and sorry, shortly they will have their homes, and then this will stop, but it will not go up. So we need to build a church, and that church will raise that approval level. You can see stocks damaged by weather supplies. So this is why we need to build a granary and a storehouse. This is not like in Caesar, where the storehouse was simply to place all of your produce so that you can get it to the traders. No, there's an actual purpose to store your supplies. What are you guys standing around for?
Don't forget to brace the frame of the door. We don't want it to sag.
Yeah, whatever that guy said.
Let's straighten this up.
Settlement level increased. Now we have unlocked a development point into a small village, and we can create something new for ourselves. Maybe a new industry, or a new option for our village to work on. Something new, like say a forest management, which doubles the capacity of all berry deposits, beekeeping, which allows us to create honey, heavy plow, which allows us to use oxen to plow fields instead of our villagers plowing the fields manually. We can also create foreign suppliers, which creates a permanent market stall, which provides passive income of firewood. Let's go with that. Of firewood, and sorry, of a food cart that also creates bread, so long as the region has enough regional wealth. A region does not pay the transport fee, must be placed on the marketplace. So we are creating a marketplace, which is essentially a place for people to put stalls in and start trading. And this is a requirement for the homes in order to get to upgrade level 2. In upgrade level 2, the bourgage plots generate 1 regional wealth per family. So this is sort of our way of producing some sort of currency that we can later tax. You can see that we have 50 in terms of regional wealth. Why would we need this regional wealth? For other purposes, let's say we need to hire mercenaries. So the regional wealth is the basis or the basic resource, which can later be used to turn it into tax, and that tax is essentially currency that we can pay for mercenaries. This also can be used to, say, construct a backyard extension. So let's say they can build a chicken coop which creates eggs, or a vegetable garden Yields depend on the plot size. Great. Let's build this one. Okay, let's fast forward this. One thing I want to build as well in terms of not in iron mining is the saw pit. Saw pit is what we need in order to create a church. We can take one person out of this one in order to... Okay, so they cleared out the forest. Pretty good. Let's build a forager's hut as well to create berries. We'll need every food resource that we can get our hands on before winter. Now, it's a rich berry deposit, so why not? Oh, it launched me into orbit. Anyways, so this is a good time to show you the map that we have. This is our county, and as you can see, there are several counties where we can expand to. They have their own resource deposits like stone, clay, and iron, as well as wild animals and berry deposits. Although I believe there were other food sources that grew in the wild in medieval Europe. Currently, we only have berries, so okay. Now, the how shall I say it? The industrial tech tree or the industrial tree can be quite complex, even now when the game is, how shall I say, again, bare bones. It can still be quite complex, so don't worry if you're looking, if you look at it and you see only like 5 types of resources. Trust me, that's more than enough to make this game complex. I have 2 families for construction and yet nothing is being built. Why? There. You can actually see that they're working with shovels to clear the land before they start building in it. Let's place someone in here. Saw pit is used to create, take logs and create planks from them. Why do we need planks? Well, we need planks in order to build a church. Church fulfills the level 1 requirement of faith required by Bourgage plots. It increases the approval rating, now that we have enough. I know, enough. Oh, because we have 10 planks and we need 20. And we're not going to be able to sew in time. But let's try. We don't have enough people though. Come on, give me those planks. Let's go, let's go. Now we have the amount of... Oh, that's it. We now have it. So, let's place the church somewhere over here. That's great. No, that's enough. We don't need any more of those. We only needed enough planks for the church. And let's place someone in the forager's hat, forager's hub or forager's hut. Sorry. Let's go build me that church. Families request more market area for their stall. So let's build it. Let's give him that marketplace. Oh, there it is. Great. Boom. Let's place a firewood cart here. And a food cart here. So long as the region has can be used to import or converted to treasury via a tax policy. Okay. Commando, bring me that church. As you can see, it's quite intensive in terms of the resources it requires. And you can see we also need a lot more working hands than what we have. Which is why we need that church. We need it like right now. Let's go to the working log. He's got all his logs full, so get to work on that church. We need those approval ratings going up so that we'll have more hands, so that we'll have more places where we can put people and give our people more services and more advanced commodities, which will enable us in the long run to build better homes, which will generate more regional wealth, which will, and you understand the process. Let's put a guy will be the pastor, maybe the father. One other thing that the church also provides is a place to bury the dead, which is very important in medieval Europe. So we got the food variety and we got the fuel variety. Now what I know that I need to build is something else. There. And let's hope some new guy comes around soon. Let's make a road that connects our village to the outside world. There. Yay, those approval ratings are rising, but we are already in autumn in September, which means we have no time to both plow the fields and then sow and then grow. So we will do that after winter. Come on, I need more men. I need more people. Now, we have enough firewood for 20 months and enough food for 11 months. That's great. We can stop where it is. Woodcutter. Yeah, we can. You can finish that up. Homelessness in the previous. Oh, they have none. Okay. But what can't I sell instead of like buying? Because they bought with their regional wealth, they bought everything, and now I don't have any. Okay, so what I need to do And I will finish this video shortly because it's already way too long. There are so many things that we haven't touched in the game even. But this is the basics of what you need to do when you start playing the game. So what we need to do is create a tannery. Tannery is used to work. Let me show you something. A hunting camp, he has 10 hides. Hides can be turned to leather. Leather can be turned to clothes. Clothes allow me to build the clothing stand, and the clothing stand is what this home requires in order to be able to upgrade to level 2. And level 2 generates regional wealth. So you can see everything is building upon everything, So, and it took me, oh, we already have someone that is also available. That's great. So you can see that our unassigned families has risen from 1 to 2, meaning that someone came to our village. So now we have 5 assigned families and still have that one unassigned family if we want to make them work on construction. Okay, so they have finished the clothing stall. And we can upgrade. Now this is already October, so winter is just around the corner. You see, winter is approaching, winter is coming. Let's upgrade our homes to level 2 as quick as possible to start generating that regional wealth. And we're out of logs. No. By the way, I like it how they're building their homes brick by brick and plank by plank. This is really neat. Come on, finish it. And our settlement level has increased, and we now have a they can expand the living, and they also have level 3, but level 3 requires a lot of resources, and it also requires now a tavern. So that's something that we will do after the winter. Because right now, trying to start plowing and seeding will result to nothing. It will not help us because in winter nothing grows. However, we will go for the heavy plow, which allows us to use oxen to plow fields. Let's get that basic farming ready, and as you can see, we are already sitting on the best land available for farming. You can see our county does not have a lot of land that is arable and good for farming, but that's not true for every one of them. As you can see, this one, for instance, has almost 100% arable land. This one does not, this one does not, this one is. So there's at least 2 counties in every mission or every time I play this game. At least 2 counties that have like almost 100% arable land, and the rest, well, not so much. Okay, let's go. Build this one. And we'll make a field like so. This is 1 Morgan. I don't know what that unit of measure is, but okay, I'm going with it. Keep this fallow and we get bread on this one. Wheat. And let's build another one. Can we build it in the forest? Oh, it actually makes the all of that wood get removed. Okay, so that's great. Now we need the wheat. So fuel stall. Yeah, let's place someone in the woodcutter. Now the woodcutter's lodge, as you can see, this family that works in the woodcutter's lodge now owns a market stall where they are selling firewood, and that's how people get firewood. So now they have access to firewood, fuel, clothing, and water, and church, so that's great. There are a lot of requirements for our people. Oh. We got more families, that's great. Add a plowing station. And what I want to do is also create a packing station. This is for the heavy industry. This is for clay, iron, and leather that I've already showed. Weaver's shop is using yarn and flax, so that's not something that we're going to be using right now. Some last thing I want to show you. And I can't find it. Okay, so no matter. But we do have a lot of hands that we can place in farming, so that's great. You see why I needed all this approval, that approval rating high, in order to attract more people, and now I can place more people in work. And hopefully soon I will also be able to gather that regional wealth from these gauge points. No way. Warbows construction. Yeah, I would like that. Thank you. One last thing that I want to mention is you saw that this field will grow this crop type. This field will grow this crop type, and this one I remain fallow. This is the medieval way of farming, essentially, is that you have some fields that you work on for this season, while the others remain fallow, which means that you're not working on those. And by not working on those, you make the land return its fertility slowly. What? 14 leather? God damn it. Oh. Yeah, because all the berries died. They're not growing. Anyways, so what I started saying is that some of the fields you will need to leave fallow in order to have their goodness and their fertility come back to them, while on others you will grow. So you are rotating the crops. You use some fields for this year and some fields for the next year, and when you're not using the other fields in this year, you keep them fallow and get that fertility back. In modern times, what we do in order to get the land to produce food constantly is using a fertilizer. But in medieval times, they did not know how to explain this, so they did not have modern fertilizer. So obviously, this is what they had to do in order to farm the same land over and over again, and that land to be able to grow things, it needs nutrients. It needs, I believe, hydrogen. And of course, in medieval times, they did not know how to explain this, but they just knew that you can't plow and sow and harvest on the same field every year. You have to give it some time to regain its fertility. So this is crop rotation, and why it's important to have some fields worked on and others not, and then in the next year it's reverse. Those that you did not work on are the ones that you're going to work on, and the fields from last season, you're going to keep them fallow. And this is also simulated here. So this is why I said about all the complexities and the difficulties of living in medieval life, which is most of the time romanticized a lot more than what it really was. Anyways, so this is the end of this video. There are so many things that we still have to cover. I will probably do a part 2 of this video. If you want that, tell me in the comments below. Sorry. Anyways, I'm going to catch something to eat, and I will see you in the next video.